So as a kid, the piece of advice we're all given the most often is be yourself, right? You see it on every sign when you're in kindergarten to, like the second you graduate high school, basically, right? This is the phrase that probably defines your adolescence and what you hear. It's also like the hardest time to follow that advice. On a brief side note, this is the most underrated advice of all time. Like it's one of those things where as you get older, as you think about it more, and as you enter more situations, you're like, wow, that really is the answer to so many tough questions. And we'll touch on that a little bit in this episode here today about how just like in life it is such good advice. But I want to talk primarily about art today, right? And make sort of a case that be yourself is not only good advice, but in the context of art is maybe a foundational, fundamental truth that all good art needs to be laid upon. This will not be me making a rule for art. This will not be me saying that this is 100% of the time, but I think that within this advice in the context of art, it really cuts to some amazing things that I want to talk about here today, right? There's this perception, there's this idea that good art is honest art. This is for a lot of reasons. This is because honest art will help you make some subjects more visceral, right? More relatable. The emotions will be more poignant if you're being honest about some things, right? All these things lead to better art in most cases, right? I don't think this is revolutionary at all, but I want to make the case that be honest in your art, that phrase is also kind of in a roundabout way another way of saying be yourself. Everybody's gonna be better than you at so many things, right? People are better than me at my day job, which is graphic design. People are obviously better than me at painting. I'm still learning right here with you all. There's always gonna be a better designer. There's always gonna be somebody more skilled, more personable, who's better with the color, with texture. They're gonna be more proficient with the program, Maybe they'll have a better method of onboarding clients or something, right? In a professional context. I think professional is easy to discuss here because it's a very direct example, you know what I mean? Like when you get into the weeds of like they're a better musician than me, what does that mean after a while? You know what I mean? And that's cutting to the truth of why I think that be yourself is an essential part of art. Because as much as there might be somebody better at every single thing, there's not going to be another you. Like that is what is going to change things, right? If you are trying to be the best designer ever, or somebody who's like, I'm the best with exactly what I do in this zone, that's great, and that's a very admirable goal. I'd love to be a great painter one day. I'd love to be an amazing designer someday. But there's also a tinge of that of like, even when you get to the very top of a field, there's always going to be somebody that's better than you still. Like you're never going to feel like you're actually the best, right? And chasing being the best is usually only going to lead you to chasing what the last guy did, right? Like, let's say I was like, I want to be the best painter of all time, so I try and follow in Picasso's footsteps. That will only ever get me as far as Picasso walked. And eventually I'm going to discover me and Picasso are very different shoe sizes, and I can't really follow that trail 100%, and then my feet get tired because I'm walking in his shoes, and I fall over, and I never make it, right? I got really literal with the feet part of that for some reason, but the metaphor holds up overall. That's how so much of this works, right? You trying to be anything but yourself is just going to lead to failure 99% of cases. It's going to lead to you compromising. And, client-facing work aside, compromise is one thing that I don't think really helps art. Like, I don't think that if two great artists came together and were like, we're gonna compromise both of our values to make a painting right now, I don't think that would really... I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's examples that are contrary to what I'm saying right now, but I have a hard time imagining that would make an exactly moving painting, right? I think it would better be served if the artist's values aligned, or if they complemented each other, not compromised and had to dilute their visions down. And that's why being yourself is so important in art, because someone's gonna be better at something, always, but nobody's going to be you 100%. And that's why you got to focus in on that, because after a while, you know, you're probably a good artist, right? Like, let's just say, for the sake of argument,